Hi, I'm Nyesha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. You have just tuned into For the Greater Good with your host, Evelyn Richardson. Today, I would like to welcome to the set a young man named Will Kampfman. He is actually the field director for the Segarra campaign 2015. So thank you for coming to the show, Will.
Thank you for having me, Ms. Richardson.
Okay, Will. So I'm going to jump right in there with you. Tell me who you are, where you come from, and how did you end up in Hartford, Connecticut?
So my name is Will Kampfman. I've been working on campaigns since I was 18 years old. My role with the campaign is that of the field director, so I oversee sort of the voter contact, the volunteer recruitment, the volunteer engagement. And I came to Hartford through a connection on a previous campaign I had worked on. One of the folks that I had worked with is actually a big supporter of the mayor's. He does a lot of work consulting for the mayor, helping out with the mayor's strategy and whatnot. And he offered me the opportunity, and it was an opportunity I couldn't turn down.
Okay. So what town were you in? Were you local at the time that you were given the opportunity to be on Segarra's campaign?
I was actually up at school at Holy Cross in Worcester.
Holy Cross. That's a cool school.
Yes. Okay. I was finishing my last semester. And fortunately the job hunt during that last semester of college got cut short by this great opportunity, and it's really.
So what are you majoring in?
I majored in political science and history. It was pre-law.
Okay, so you came to the campaign with a lot of background in politics. Now, I know, I don't know if it probably annoys you or not, but when I first met you and they said that you were the field director, I was like, where's his mother? Did he get a permission slip or something to be on the campaign?
She still hasn't signed that, but.
Okay, so we know that you're here, you're working aggressively on the Segarra campaign. Tell me, what do you think the chances are for Segarra?
I think the chances are very good. We're very confident. We're in a very strong position. The difference between our campaign and our opponent's campaign is our campaign's about the people. It's people powered. We're not sending 3-4 glossy mailers a week. We're not up on TV. We're coming to your door, face-to-face personal contact to sort of cut through all that clutter that's coming in the mailbox, all that clutter that's coming on the airwaves, and really deliver that personal contact and interaction that folks like, they need, and they want.
Yeah, it's very annoying because I get the emails every day. There's something going on in Bronin's mind because obviously it's not going on in the city of Hartford. So he's creating things and sending me emails about it. But that's annoying. So that goes straight to the trash. I don't even take my time to read it anymore because most of it's full of lies anyway. So I send that to the trash. And then once the mailman leaves, it's like, yesterday alone, I had like 5 pieces of information just from his campaign. And I'm like, oh my goodness, is there any milk in the refrigerator? No milk in the refrigerator. You mean Bronin could have sent me the money that he, helped me to fill up my trash bag so I could put it in my refrigerator? So it's really annoying. And that's like 4 days out of a 5-day week. I have something in my mail from Bronin, and I just see that as a big waste of money.
Absolutely.
So I agree with you. The personal contact is much better. Tell me, do you have an aggressive approach that you guys are doing that you can share with our viewers?
We're door knocking day in and day out. We're phone banking day in and day out. Really trying to reach as many voters as we can. We ran a very aggressive voter registration program earlier in the campaign. Coming into Hartford and looking at the numbers, you have 120,000+ residents, and only about 47,000 of those folks are registered. And outside of politics and who your candidate is, there's an aspect here that it's your voice, it's your vote. Have yourself heard. if you want to have a say in the direction of the city.
So is that what you're saying is the difference between the two candidates, or is there more to that difference?
I would say between the candidates or the campaigns.
The actually between the candidates' campaigns. So it can be both ways.
Right.
The candidates and their campaigns.
I think the campaign strategy is very reflective of the candidates themselves. You have Pedro and our campaign. We're running a very grassroots, people-powered campaign that's about the people. Whereas you have someone like Luke Bronin flying at 50,000 feet, dropping mailers every couple of days up on TV. And really, our campaign is focused on the people. It's driven by people, and that's ultimately what this is about, and who this is going to be decided by.
So I'm very curious to find out what's your thoughts on how it seems that Luke Bronin is trying to make the voters in Hartford believe that most of the African American community is voting with him, and then that, you know, maybe Segarra is only vying for the Hispanic or Latino vote. I'm not sure which they might prefer, but it seems to be that it's created a North against South divide, and we didn't have that at the last election, where people played on our race or our, you know, our identity for votes, and it's happening in its campaign.
I from our experience, I mean, we have a lot of support in the North End, a lot of support. I think that there's certainly maybe more so in the South End, understandably, but we have support in the North End. We have folks that are active up there, and really it's just about getting to the people. You know, there's a lot different driving down a road and seeing a bunch of lawn signs on the side of the road versus actually walking up to that door, knocking on that door and saying, hey, who are you actually supporting this election? Who do you think is the better candidate? Because if you asked a lot of people, you know, 5 years ago when Pedro was in the same position, if he sat down and said, you know, 5 years from now, graduation rates would be up, we would have all these economic development opportunities, despite a recent uptick, you know, crime would be down, what would people say? They would probably say, you know, you've done a lot that you said you would, and you certainly deserve another 4 years.
So let me see. So first tell me, in your opinion, only, why is Segarra the best candidate?
I think Pedro's the best candidate. He is Hartford. You know, his personal story, his background, the way he worked his way up, what he's gone through in life, his commitment, his compassion for the city, his track record, what he's done in his first 5 years, what he did on his time as council, and the work that's still there to be done. You know, let's not turn back on progress now. Give the man a chance to finish what he started and keep Hartford moving forward.
So the primary, it's amongst us. It isn't coming anymore. It's like right here. It is tomorrow. So tell us about the primary. What are the expectations for the people who are out there in the community, the voters and the workers?
So obviously it's a Wednesday municipal primary in September. The biggest thing I could say is go vote. Go vote. Right. Go have your voice heard. You know, it's hard when you look at a bigger election, like a federal election or a state level election, and turnout's so low, and then you bring it down to even a smaller level. Just go vote. We'll have people out, you know, door knocking, encouraging folks to head out. Go knock out your block on your neighborhood. Get people out to vote. Call up your friends and neighbors. Make sure they go vote, and really do as much as we can to get our folks out.
So I do want to mention to you all that today is the last day that you can actually go to register to vote, and you have to make it down to City Hall in downtown Hartford by 12 p.m. today. So unless you make it down to the Register of Voters office, that's 550 Main Street in Hartford, Connecticut, and you go over there and you register to vote, you will not be able to cast your vote. And that will be very sad, because we all need to voice our own opinion on our own candidates, not influenced by what comes in our mail, but by the statistics of what's been taking place and the positive things that have been happening. If we only voted based on misconceptions, we will all be blind, following other blind people into a ditch. We want to change that course of action. So we want to make educated decisions. But first, it starts with your vote. Make sure you get to register to vote. So how does one contact your offices? Say, I need to get to work and I got to get out to vote. The door knocker hasn't made it to my door yet. Is there a number that I could call to get a ride?
There is. We do have a Rise to the Polls number. I don't have it on me off the top of my head. Maybe I can get that. It's on our website.
Okay.
We'll have literature that we'll be leaving at everybody's door with that number on it. And then obviously we'll have people coming out to door knock. Polls are open 6 a.m. to 8 p.m.
So what is that website address?
Our website is Segarra2015.com, and on there you can go and you can look up where your polling location is. You can you can contact our office by phone, by email. Some of our personal contact information is on there. My personal email is on there. I believe our campaign managers, some of our field staff. We'll also have smaller satellite offices around the city, staging locations in each of the neighborhoods, trying to bring it down into the community as much as we can. So within every few blocks of one another, we'll have another area where, you know, if somebody needs a ride, they should just feel free to come down to the office and we'll take care of them.
So we know that there's other people. Mayor Segarra is not running alone. He is running to be the City of Hartford mayor, to give him 4 more years to complete the work that he has started. And by the way, I must add myself that he has done an awesome job. Nothing is without a few hiccups along the way, but compared to where we were when he started, we have made a lot of progress. But tell me something about the other candidates that's on the mayor's slate.
Well, our team is fantastic, and there's no other way to describe it. From top to bottom, they bring the experience, they bring the diversity and the background, and they bring the vision to keep Hartford moving forward and really work as a cohesive group to move Hartford forward over the next 4 years. You talk about people like Ken Kennedy and Kyle Anderson, who have the experience of being in city government for years now. Someone like Gigi Feliciano, who's worked behind the scenes in city government, really knows. She knows. I don't know if there's anything about policy she doesn't know, or the function of government. Chief Caceres, who we all know is a fire chief, deeply committed to public safety and the betterment of the community. Lulu Johnson Martin, who has experience as a community organizer, experience in the community, working in the State House, doing all she can for Hartford. And then someone like James Whoop, who's, I believe, 29 years old and an entrepreneur, and came to Hartford because he saw the opportunity that he wants to be able to share.
The opportunity that Bronin would say is not here right now, but we know that there are a lot of people that have decided to come into the city of Hartford since Mayor Segarra has been mayor. So that alone speaks volumes.
Absolutely. And you look at our slate as a group. You know, you have the mayor, you have the council, but really as a team, make a decision on what group can work together and what group is genuinely interested in moving Hartford forward in the betterment of the community.
Okay. So, and that row is?
Row B.
Row B. Okay, so tell me about the date. The date, we know that it's Wednesday. That's tomorrow. Is there any particular reason why it was changed to a Wednesday? Our Hartford voters are used to voting on Tuesdays.
Monday's a Jewish holiday. I believe it's
Rosh Hashanah?
Jewish New Year.
Oh, Jewish. Okay, right. Okay.
So they moved the primary to the Wednesday.
Okay, that's understandable.
But just as most Democrats are used to, the our slate is still on Row B this year. In the primary.
So do you think that the Jewish people are praying that, you know, it's like, we got to move this thing because we got to go in prayer for another day. So the times of the election, what time are we getting out to vote?
Polls open at 6 a.m. and we'll close at 8 p.m.
Oh.
And if you're in line at the end of the night, wait in line. You will get your opportunity to vote.
So what do you think? I must add, and I'm usually kind of very blunt and just outspoken, so I'm going to ask the question, even though sometimes I hate having to ask the questions. I do not trust the register of voter process all the time.
I've heard that from a few people.
How well do you think we fare since they have a new setup over there? I know that the state is overseeing some degrees of that operation.
I mean, I think, they do the best they can. They do a good job. Obviously, they have a lot to handle.
The capacity is very overwhelming.
Absolutely. And like a lot of departments on every level, federal, state, funding and resources. But I think they do a very admirable job for all that they're expected to handle and all that they do handle. And the job that they do is crucial, and I think they do it well.
So we can expect that you're very hopeful that the polls will open on time this year.
Yes, we are.
That there won't be any miscounts or lost tallies or whatever that, So I'm going to be hopeful with you since you're hopeful. So right here, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back with you. Don't you leave that spot. We're going to be right back with Will Kampfman, the field director for Mayor Pedro Segarra's campaign. Thank you.
I know why she did that.
She's being mean.
Yeah. Can you go talk to her?
That's not being mean to you.
I'm her friend now, but she's still not my friend. She's not my friend no more.
Because they won't vote for you, huh?
Luke Bronin, referring to his past job as the governor's general counsel.
Mayor, I did everything I could from the positions I had.
That's a little hard to believe. Who is Luke Bronin, really? He took campaign cash from an internet scammer. He lied about neighborhood schools, forcing the Hartford Federation of Teachers to withdraw its support of him. While at the governor's office, he allowed for cuts in youth and prevention services. He denied humanitarian aid to thousands of immigrant orphans. Tell Mr. Bronin that the people of Hartford are smarter than that. Vote Row B and for Hartford on September 16th.
I'm Pedro Segarra, and I approve this message.
Welcome back. Will, I'm going to jump in with this question because I'm very curious, and I don't know if you necessarily have the answer to this question, but I'm finding out from people who are watching TV in different states that Luke Bronin's commercial is not only airing locally
Mhm.
where he's trying to get the support,
Mhm.
they're airing nationally. What
Mm.
does that mean?
Well, I think I've heard other parts of Connecticut. So when you do a media buy, it's divided up by media market. So you have the Hartford media market, you have the New York media market, New Haven. So you can't just air it specifically in Hartford, but there have been people who've come in and said he's bought outside the Hartford media market. I don't know if that's true, but if it is, then why are you airing those ads? What does a voter in Danbury have to do with the Hartford municipal election? Why aren't you on Access TV? Why aren't you putting your ads up on there on a local network? Why are you running all these ads on Channel 3 across the state? And I think that just speaks to the difference in the campaigns and the difference in the approach of the candidates. And Pedro's about the people of Hartford, deeply committed to the people of Hartford and moving Hartford forward. And I think that's going to show tomorrow.
Exactly. I've heard from people in Atlanta, Georgia,
Really?
in Granby. My daughter came home talking about her teacher in Granby, Connecticut is always talking about Hartford, what's going on with the Hartford elections and the commercials and things like that. So he's getting around. And to me, it just seems like he's really not, we're a stepping stone to where he's really trying to, which is not a problem within itself. We all want to start somewhere and go up, but why are you focusing up before you even get in?
Is Hartford an opportunity for you, or is there an opportunity to help the people?
Exactly. So now this thing with the Federation of Teachers, I know that they gave Bronin the original endorsement, and then I hear that there's some new news that just came out yesterday associated with that.
Absolutely. Last night we were endorsed by the paraprofessionals, which I believe is a group within the Hartford Federation of Teachers. They've come out in support of the mayor. They're going to be sending folks to help out, turn out voters, turn out their members, and I think it just speaks to the direction that our campaign's going, the momentum that we have, the grassroots momentum that we have, and people are seeing through the glossy finish on the mailers and the walk cards and seeing the true character of the campaigns and the true character of the candidates, and starting to get behind Pedro and really help us to the finish.
So how does that, what type of light does that put them in with the main branch of the Federation of Teachers?
Well, not to get too much into labor politics or the organization, but with the umbrella organization of the American Federation of Teachers and then the local Hartford Federation of Teachers, we obviously know that they rescinded their endorsement of Luke Bronin. I believe the paraprofessionals are a group within that Hartford Federation that also includes substitute teachers, paraprofessionals, a couple others. They chose to step out in front of the issues and step out in front of this campaign and Pedro as a candidate and a man and throw their support behind him.
I respect that because from what I'm hearing and my understanding of it is that the people who are on the ground with our children, the grassroots level people, are the people who are saying we support Mayor Pedro Segarra, because we know that in most cases in Hartford schools, as a parent that had all my children and grandchildren go through Hartford schools, when I walk in the doors, the first line of contact for me are those school paraprofessionals, and they're working with the children and all of that. So that speaks volumes, even if the AFT isn't, giving an endorsement, because those are the people that never touch our children.
Absolutely. And if you look
at
at
on the ground with them,
you see that on so many different levels with our campaign. We've been endorsed by the paraprofessionals, by CSEA, by SEIU 32BJ, obviously State Representative Gonzalez, State Representative Vargas, Mr. McCauley, a bunch of different grassroots organizations and folks, leaders in the community have stepped out in front of the mayor's campaign and thrown their support behind him as the clear choice for who's the right leader to move Hartford forward over the next 4 years.
Okay, so I'm gonna right here. I want to get. Oh, you know what? I have another question before I go to that. Polls. Have there been any polls on who's winning or how things are faring? Who's popular, unpopular?
There haven't been any Quinnipiac polls or polls like we might traditionally see in a bigger race, but obviously we have our internal polling. I'm sure Luke Ronan has his internal polling. Some other candidates have theirs, and we're very confident. We're in a strong position. You obviously have someone who's been in Hartford, like the mayor has for so long, has worked so closely and so diligently with and for the people of Hartford. That comes with its own set of positives. But again, it's no matter what the poll says, it's about turning your people out to vote, and especially in a low turnout Wednesday primary in September, this is going to be about who can get more people out, who can be in the street more, pull their people out, get them to the polls, and get them to pull that lever.
Okay, wonderful. So, and let me see, is there anything else that I would like to touch on? I think I did it. But what I would like for you to do, and your camera is over here, is speak to the people. Get them out to vote. Tell them, how important it is to vote for Mayor Pedro Segarra and move the city forward for 4 more years, and what they need to do to get out there and vote. It's on you. Thank
you, Evelyn. I think you have a clear choice in this election. You have someone in Mayor Segarra who has been in Hartford for 40 plus years. He's worked day in and day out tirelessly to move the city forward. He's brought promise. He's delivered economically. He's raised graduation rates. He's about the community. Tomorrow the polls are open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. and it's our chance to have our voice heard. Don't let a small group of people decide an election. Just like the DTC endorsement, don't let a small group decide who is the spokesperson, who is the right candidate for the Democratic Party in our city. Get out to vote, have your voice heard, vote for who you think will keep Hartford moving forward, and don't be scared. Don't be intimidated by television ads. Don't be intimidated by mailers. Don't be intimidated by a large campaign bank account. Have your voice heard and stand out in front of the city, stand up for the city, and keep Hartford moving forward. Thank you so much. So we're going to thank you all out there in Access TV land for joining us here on For the Greater Good with Evelyn Richardson. Be blessed.